Welcome to Instant Discussion.
The gerbs!
Really? Really? On this episode, we're discussing Indie Game,
Welcome to Instant Discussion.
the movie.
Oh.
Wait, now it sounds like Instant Discussion's the movie. This is a Canadian film.
God. What?
It's a Canadian film. I just found that out. I didn't know that before that.
Hey, from Canada, bye.
Hey, this is from 2012, and it's a movie, a documentary, if you will, about indie games, which are
I want to talk about something.
games that are independent and not created by big studios. Kind of like independent movies.
I thought they were Indian people who made them.
Not indie games. Not like Indian games. No, this is they're actually, well, some of them are Canadian, but
not the okay.
neither of those kinds. The hipster indie kind, you know, glasses.
One's
and
from Canada.
tea and the scarves and all that. Yeah, one's from Canada. So this is an indie movie about indie video games. Documentary. Yeah. And they talked to some people who make those games, and we got to learn a little bit, peek into their lives and why they do it and what they do.
Steffan sneezing like a pervert.
Oh shit!
It was funded by two
His name's
concerns.
Jonathan
Anyway,
Blow.
All right. Because he just blew his nose. All right. So, Indie Game the movie. Had you heard of this movie before?
I had seen it and I was gonna add it and I forgot to add it.
You've seen it, saw that it was on Netflix.
Yeah,
Not
I
that
saw
you
it and I
actually
wanted
saw
to
the
watch
movie. Okay. And you...
I bought the Humble Bundle that the movie came with on, which was like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I downloaded it, and it's been sitting on my computer, collecting virtual dust.
The Humble Bumble.
What's going on?
No, nothing at all.
So, I guess first of all, we should move on to the part where John gets me tissues. I got a bugger.
It's, you know, HD and all. Anyway.
What does it even stand for? Anyway.
I don't know. All right, so...
I'd never seen it.
You'd never seen it? Okay.
Me neither.
Have you?
I saw it, and that's why I picked it. This was one that I've been wanting to watch since I first heard about them making it, because I saw people posting about the Kickstarter for it and saying, hey, this is a cool thing, we should fund this thing. And I didn't fund it, because I don't do that. But, you know, why would you support arts? So I had heard about it from there and I've been wanting to see it. Then it came on to Netflix really quickly, and I wanted to see it, and I eventually did. And then the Humble Bundle came out, where it had it on there, and now I own it.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I've never watched that copy of it, but because I had already seen it on Netflix. But
I'm happy to own it.
yeah, I'm glad they own it now. So yes, this movie. I was very intrigued to watch it. Even though the first time I had actually seen this one, someone else was watching it, and I kind of saw bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
I was in the
And
other
it
room.
mainly follows the stories of the Super Meat Boy creation and Fez, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
A lot of
It's
Fez.
just those two.
There's a lot of both of them in there. You
I think-
really
yeah, I
get into the
think-
backstory of the
think you get a
Super
good
Meat
portion of
Boy
both.
creators.
Yeah.
The Fez gets the height of the drama.
Plus he's
in part of that,
Canadian.
too.
Just
Yeah,
because
he's
of what happened.
Yeah, because of what happened for that. But I mean, the Super Meat Boy starts off, like, the opening of the film starts off with their bit of drama on there about game sales.
Yeah.
The first day.
Yeah, they're waiting for
It's
it.
like, it's not
sale.
on. And then they cussed.
Yup. Ooh. You don't usually hear gamers
Curse.
using swear words, but
It's weird.
Not
that
the F
time.
word.
So what are your first impressions of the movie and watching it? How'd you feel?
I loved it, actually. It was... Like, it really did, like, tug at my emotional strings. Like, I was surprised.
It was it got your interest really quickly. I think they did that well with having that first part in there. So it's drama right off the bat, a little bit of tension. Then it gets you into the love of the game.
Like, you don't realize how much work goes into these indie games and how it really is just one person, two people sometimes. And to just see behind the scenes, like, I never knew.
I mean, you just play these games and you download them quickly and you're like, oh, this is a fun little thing. And
Yeah,
you move on.
Even for like Rust, and there's like a lot of games like that. Where
But this is somebody's
one dude
like everything
doing
for
it.
years. Like, that's insane.
So first impressions with that. Any more of that?
I got sucked in a lot too into it. There were moments where it felt like the people that they were talking to, whether it was Phil Fish or whoever. There was one moment in particular, I think it was Phil Fish. Yeah, it was Phil Fish that they were talking to, and
He's not a real fish.
At a convention center, and it felt like he was trying to go a little more dramatic in that part of it, but then his real emotions also came out at the same time.
Yes.
And it was very like conflicting in me for a short while, but I was just like, but he is honestly feeling like I can tell like this really. It was when he was talking about his buddy.
Yeah.
Well, not his buddy, but
because they're
his old business partner.
I think what happens there because they're making this film and these people aren't actors. But
plus he's a big nerd.
Phil Fish has been in the spotlight a few times with the awards that he had garnered for creating this thing.
Yeah.
But then all the response for that. So I think he somewhat knows what he's doing in front of the camera, and they're trying to build attention for the show. For the thing. So they do that, but. There is that real emotion there because he seriously spent all this time on that and that.
If Jonathan and Phil got married, it'd be Blowfish.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Only if they hyphenated their.
They're gonna hyphenate because they're gay, and that's what gay people do.
What if it was Fish Blow?
Oh god.
Unless when two guys marry, they take the opposite person's last name as a middle name.
So one would be Jonathan Blowfish, the other would be Phil Blow.
Fish
Blow.
Is Fish Blow funnier than? I don't know.
That's weird.
All right, so let's keep going on with this. Favorite part.
Do you favorite part or the worst part?
Favorite part first, then worst part.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We're positive here.
My favorite part.
Sandwich.
My favorite part is because like I kind of I got into the characters. So when I saw Meat Boy really get the sales, I was just like clenching my hands like
yeah. This is similar to ones that we've run into with like in Word Wars, where it like the people are interesting and they become these great characters.
It reminded me a lot of Word Wars when I was watching it.
Though these people are
Canadian,
doing a lot more creative work. They're putting a lot more than just
fucking
putting words out on tiles. So they were. It was looking at them in a different way than you were looking at the people in Word Wars.
Yeah.
The people in Word Wars, it was kind of a little sad on top of all the other stuff. But these people were doing really passionate stuff in.
That's true.
It wasn't a sad thing
because it was them dedicated. It was their. It was like for them, it was hard work. It was them making a product. But in Word Wars, it was just they weren't coming to an end where it was going to be this great big project accomplishment. It was just
I mean, they have personal happiness in there, but there was so much sadness in that. I mean, this is a lot happier, I think. But it's still very strong characters in it. So I'm agreeing with you for your. I'm stealing your best part. How about yours?
My best part?
Your favorite thing about it, or best part?
It's hard not to say the just getting involved.
Copycat, jeez.
I mean, it's just so clearly like it was where it just rose up above within itself.
Yeah.
Is that was just like the peak and the pinnacle of this movie was that it wasn't only just like, telling me the story behind these characters, but I was super freaking involved and cared.
Yeah.
And
we'll get more into their individual stories.
Hearing about the struggle and just how crazy it was for them was really interesting.
Yeah. Least favorite. Think about it.
The least favorite part that annoyed me was when they were talking shit about non-indie games.
I was actually going to say the same thing.
Really, Ghost is an amazing fucking video game. Halo had a great story. It was well put together. The art was beautiful. The shit they were talking shit about were great games. And he's like, pieces of shit like Cole. Like, no, you asshole. Those are amazing games. Like, fuck off.
And I think though they hit. I'd be interested if they were to mention something like Portal 2 in there. Because that's that gray area where it's like
it's both.
It's both. It's a massive.
It's like a Kevin Smith movie.
It's like, oh god, do I go? Oh, but Portal indie game. Oh, but they got successful. Yeah. Oh no, but it was made as a AAA title. It was made as a huge game.
Right.
It wasn't made as a. Oh.
It's a AAA indie title.
What do I call it? So that was the thing, and so it upsets me when they make those blanket statements like that. And all right, I love that he has the passion to make these indie games, and the hatred for the massive games fuels that passion that creates this art. And that's the same thing you get in indie music and indie movies. And
it's like hipsters.
It creates great art. And hipsters make good art a lot of times. They also make terrible art.
Mm-hmm.
Just like big studios make great art and terrible art. Like they'll do both. Like everyone has hits and misses on there.
Mm-hmm.
But when people say, if people say only like indie films, you don't like any big blockbuster movies, you don't like any of the Marvel superhero movies or the Back to the Future, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. You won't take any of those, even though Star Wars kind of like built up script. Like you don't look at the artists behind there that still have that same passion to make it. That just happens to get funded by the studio, and sure, it gets more people talking in on it, and so it's not really the pure vision that they had to set out with. Mm-hmm. But you get to see this grand thing that you wouldn't get to see in an indie film that doesn't have that budget, doesn't have the studio power behind it. So in that same way, in these indie games, the reason I love these indie games is you get these great concepts in there. And kind of like with Portal and Portal 2 and Portal 1, you get this great concept for a game. What if you had a gun that could do this? Mm-hmm. And then you develop this entire game around it, which got this even bigger story to it, and you put more money into it. If you have that inspiration there, you can still have great fun and great innovation with that, with still having that in there. Like these games that they're creating are really cool, but they either take them insanely long to make, and they're putting all this time in that. If you have more resources on it, you get this bigger product that can be terrible, but it can also be great. So yeah, I got upset with them talking shit on that. How about you, Steffan?
That didn't stick out to me.
Surprisingly. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to stick out.
You're not really. It was a very small point. It was like one line tossed in there.
But I totally see what you guys are saying, and I can totally see how what they said can be really look bad. But I think that to try to be a little more devil's advocate here.
Yes.
I think that for them though, they were just they were exaggerating.
Yeah, maybe.
I think there was a lot of passion with that.
I think so,
but it's just, and it comes from the passion though, is the exaggeration, and I think that's what happens. They're not saying that it's complete garbage, but
I think that who was it who said that one? It was either Edmund or Tommy from Super Meat Boy.
Yeah,
it was the programmer from
the shaved head.
It was a programmer from the
Tommy,
and he was saying how he wouldn't be happy working at one of those companies. He wouldn't want to work at one of those companies. Yeah. I think he might be happy in the right position in Nintendo.
Right.
I think they have that type of innovation.
If he was lead video game design.
Yes. And I think the thing is, if he creates some great indie video games, and then could get that position from that. Like if he had just started out as a programmer and applied for a job, he wouldn't get that thing. But creating this thing, he'd be able to then go on and create things like your Pikmin and your Mario.
Right. It's just one of those things where he just he puts the application in, this is what I want. Do you want me for that net?
Exactly.
Nope. Okay.
And then you can have all the studio funding behind it to do the things that he'd want to do. Now. Things like Super Meat Boy are a little tougher to get there, but they also have done things like Conker's and Bad Fur Day, and they get into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they might be able to create it. It'd be interesting to see that.
I've got another favorite moment.
Yes.
Was watching them watch people play their games.
Yes. Oh. Yes.
I think that might have been my favorite moment.
I want to talk about it a bit more in the extended, because I want to get really into that one, too.
I think that might have been my favorite moment.
All right.
That was so... There was something just so rewarding and amazing about that.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
Let's go with ratings on this one.
I did 5.
5?
For what it was, for a documentary, it was...
Yeah.
I was interested the whole way through. There was no lag for me at all.
Okay.
Sorry. This is one of my question points, because I had 4 originally marked on this from when I first watched it, and watching it again this time, I love it so much more, and I think I've played more of the games since the first time I watched it as well. So that might help me being more passionate towards them. So definitely it's that 4.5 zone for me there. Because I had that initial 4, it's just I have to find that justification to give it that 5. But it definitely feels like a 5-star documentary. Like thinking of it as a documentary.
Yeah.
It's that. It's I'm just right where what he's saying. If I were to rate it just on documentary basis, it'd be 5 instantly. Yeah. It'd be easy.
Yeah, that's how I'm doing it.
That'd be such an easy thing to do, because I didn't feel like they were... I mean, I guess it's so weird to call this a documentary, and I want to talk about that later.
Okay.
I really do want to talk about that later, but...
I mean...
Okay. It's so difficult to give it a 4 or a 5, because I'm right at 4.5 myself.
Okay.
Just on movie basis alone.
So in time, that will be resolved. It's going to be on that teetering spot there for a little while.
Yeah. I haven't put it in yet.
Yeah. You haven't had enough time yet because
you haven't put it in.
It hasn't been that long since you watched the movie.
No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
I did not just watch it right here.
Not right here. Nope.
It's over there.
No. He saw it way far ago in the past.
Maybe in North Dakota.
So, thanks for watching. We're going to
Next
talk next week about...
Me!
You.
Oh.
We're going to talk about you.
Indie Game 2.
I'm picking a
Indie
movie
Gamer.
I haven't seen. I believe John has seen.
Again. Oh, that one.
I probably haven't
I've
seen
already
it.
talked to you.
You've probably seen it.
You've probably seen it. But then there's always the chance
It's
you
an
haven't.
Avengers.
And it's a movie that I think, without even reading what it's about.
Just based on the title alone.
Avenger.
Hopefully you read the title.
I read the title.
Okay, good.
I don't know, but I don't know. I get feelings about movies. But anyway, just based on my feeling of the movie, I'm picking Taxi Driver.
That's what I was going to choose.
No, it's not your week to choose.
No, I know.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because they just put it on.
Yeah, they just put it on.
You're
So-
fucking serious.
I love that movie. It's good.
All right.
You were gonna.
Well, I
All
guess
right.
then next week it's my pick since both
No.
of you were picking that one. All right.
No, because
No,
I picked one of your picks too, right?
Well, he picked one of my picks too.
Right.
Everyone's picking my picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you never have to pick
Everything's coming up in the house. All right. Thanks for watching. Join us next week for Taxi Driver. I was gonna say something as a warning to everyone.
Fish
not
blow!
To do something, but I didn't want to blow fish.
Fish
You
blow.
didn't want to blow fish?
You never want to blow fish.
Yeah, I don't
Unless you
wanna
like
spoil anything for this
fish
movie.
sticks.
So watch Taxi Driver, and immediately after watch our discussion video. Don't do anything else in between.
Oh.
Yes, because it's very necessary. It's very Nessa. Thank you for watching.
Wow.
Share us online.
No.
Oh, and join us for the extended talk right